Tom Segura's in damage control after divorce backlash. You know what, fellas? If no one's ever told you this before, allow me to be the first. Never start a brand, a YouTube channel, a TikTok page with your girlfriend, with your wife, hell, even with your kid, your bestie, aunt, uncle, grandma. I don't give a shit. Don't do it. Because when something goes awry, which it will, people are going to want to have answers. And you're not going to want to give that to them. And they're going to get pissed. And you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Because it was you who invited them into your life. So don't fucking do that shit. But yeah, we're going to watch this and give our professional but unlicensed opinion. So let's get it popping.
I don't feel a need to like say a lot to people.
This is sped up slightly though.
It bothered me that a lot of people were like, oh, I can't believe you
TikTok brain
would make her go address this alone or like do this on her own. You're not going to see me doing interviews or podcasts or press about this. This is me addressing what it is and how it's been, and it's been terrible.
Talks about it on a podcast.
I don't feel
make it make
like
sense.
I need to keep talking about this. This is it for me. I'm not going to talk about this. You know, whether some people are okay with, some are not. It is what it is.
Tom, I said, we can kind of, if you
Totally.
want to,
Tag us
Summer
in.
Bears if you need, and Tom's response was not happening this summer.
Oh,
What a gay set design.
smart for Tom, because this would have been his summer.
Oh,
this
yeah.
would have been the summer that Tom's in the crosshairs. I will say, everyone's looking at it from the guy gets fat
Rich
guy
and
loses
hot.
weight.
Dick, I'm sorry.
Do you think it's fun? Who do you think it's more fun to be?
Trying to be
married
better.
Yeah.
A fun fat guy or a guy on peptides?
Right.
You know what I
Why can't fun people be on peptides? You know?
mean?
Right.
Like, if you had to pick.
Tom Segura has finally broken his silence after Christina P. handled everything on her own last week, sitting down with Duncan Trussell, opening up about the divorce, going through her emotions, answering questions. Tom has finally decided to show up. Like I've been saying across my coverage of the situation, things are not looking good for him. This is the worst case scenario for someone like Tom Segura.
Worst case scenario, bro. I think we're being a little ambitious here, you know. Need I remind you, 55% of marriages end in divorce. And these they made it 18 years or 20 years or some shit. Like, it's a pretty good run, man. I mean, you can't say that they didn't give it like a solid try. I've seen a lot of people saying like, oh, he's just bailing because he, you know, things got hard and he didn't want to try to work things out. It's like, bro, if you're with anybody for more than like 4 years, 2 years even, like anybody that makes it past the 5-year mark, you learn, okay, this isn't the type of person to just bail when it gets hard. Like, you know, they've tried probably very, very stringently to get through it, and sometimes it just doesn't work out, man.
I want to be clear about something here. I said this in my previous video, and I will say it again here. I agree with Tom that this is a private situation.
problem?
It's none of anyone's business, but there's a difference in the way the two of them responded to the exact same situation, and that difference tells you everything you need to know. I'll show you exactly what I mean in a moment, because if you haven't already, make sure you check out the link in the description to my Patreon. I have a massive Kill Tony video coming out covering the MSG shows from the weekend, so definitely get signed up so you don't miss out on that. There's around 70 videos on there already waiting for you, so now is the time to hit that link and become a member.
W ad though. I didn't even notice it first.
We are back, and this is my first podcast here in a while. I know that a lot of people obviously heard the news. I don't feel a need to like say a lot to people, but it bothered me that a lot of people were like, oh, I can't.
Dude, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You maybe should have just not said anything at all. Because if you come out and say, like, people are so against you already because you made some jokes about like divorce or like being on, like, what would happen if you died? We saw that clip, and you're like, live my life or whatever. People are just grabbing onto these little crumbs that you've left behind in your past and creating like this big shit sandwich for you to eat, bro. Like if you came out and said the most nicest, pure, beautiful thing ever, people would be like, well, yeah, he's an actor, he's professional at being fake, fuck him. Or if you come out with too little emotion, people will be like, look at him, he doesn't even care, stone cold sociopath. So honestly, your best bet, just fucking zip it, dog.
I can't believe you would make her go address this alone or like do this on her own. The truth is that like we have been recording separate episodes for a long time now, because everything that people know is not new to us. It's, you know, it's been many months. It was many months, and we record separately. So her episode was first after our return, so she addressed it first. It's been it's a horrible experience. So I just wanted to let people know it's privately it's horrible. And
Yeah, I mean, an 18-year marriage coming to an end. There's kids involved. It's a shitty situation. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone, but it happens every fucking day. And then you take that, you put a giant spotlight and millions of fans and other clout-hungry YouTubers that want to chime in and get clicks and money off of it at your expense. I can't imagine something much worse than that. Like, I'm sure it feels like your whole world is collapsing in. If there's anybody watching this that went through a divorce, just give us a comment down below. Tell us how it went, guys. I feel for y'all. Life is hard, man.
it's really tough on you. Like personally, it's really tough. Having it be public is it's awful. You know, I can only tell you that it's awful. I'll tell you too. It's like we wanted to
Why is
to
that
be
guy
private.
laughing?
Like that's how we were handling everything, right? It's like a private matter. And the day you get a phone call from your publicist going, "Hey, TMZ's got wind of this and they're going to run a story," you're like, "What?
Can I be
TMZ?"
honest?
Yeah.
So as you can probably see, Tom spends the first few minutes of this week's YMH podcast in full damage control, addressing the accusations, the commentary, all the stuff that's been said about him throwing Christina under the bus, you know, that she came out and opened up while he was nowhere to be seen. And what's interesting is that Tom chose to address...
So is he allowed to, like, you know, defend himself a little bit? No, guys, I didn't force her to go out there and do a podcast on her own. It's just kind of way shaked out how we film things. Hers ended up being first. You guys can relax a little bit. Full damage control. He's such an asshole. Like, chill the fuck out, guys. What did you want him to just be like? Yes, I'm a piece of shit. Everything you guys guessed about me is completely true. If you see me in the streets, feel free to throw tomato, some trash, spit in my face, whatever you just kick me in the nuts. Kick me in the fucking nuts. Is that what you guys wanted?
address the personal
This
attacks
shit drives
against him
me
first,
crazy.
instead of actually addressing the fans and the audience and the overall situation. His priority was correcting the narrative about himself, which tells you
Yeah, it's his life. It's the court of public opinion. He's trying to you know, he doesn't want this to become a fucking runaway train and get completely out of control and decimate his career. Can you blame the guy? Is that so bad?
where his head is at right now. Then he goes on about how it's a private situation, and I'll show you him getting into more detail about that in a moment, because here's the thing, right? Tom and Christina built the entire YMH network together off the back of this podcast. This is the OG podcast, one of the first comedy podcasts. It's been going forever, and it's genuinely a good show. They had a pretty original concept compared to a lot of the other comedy podcasts out there, but the entire basis for it was that it's a husband and wife podcast. That was the thing. There is an entire audience who became fans of this show.
That's the thing, man. Like I was saying at the beginning, I hate this chair. I'm gonna get a new one. Dude, if you're gonna create a brand, you want to get famous, you want to like have a YouTube channel, TikTok, what? I don't care. I don't know. Do it on your own 2 feet, bro. Have it all be in your hands, your control. Any success and accolades that you acquire along the way is completely yours to own, and also any, you know, consequences and bullshit is your responsibility, and it's up to you to manage, right? And to bring other people into that with different personalities, different fears, different beliefs, different feelings. It's just a matter of time when those pressures make something snap, make two people come to a head, and then the consequences are shared and amplified. It is just a fucking disaster, and then you have to, you know, leave it to the court of public appeal. And most of the time guys get fucked because women are seen as more vulnerable and more fragile and just more like victimized in general. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here.
Because of that dynamic. So whether Tom likes it or not, you kind of have to address it in some capacity. You can't just say divorces are private, it is what it is, deal with it. Bro, your business was built off the back of your marriage. And Christina already came out last
You're
week
not
and
wrong,
spoke
bro.
openly
So
and
just
candidly
don't do
about
it.
it. She said transparency was important to her. Tom went the complete opposite direction. He basically said, it's none of your business. I'm not talking about this again, this is all you're getting. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with Tom on the privacy thing. I don't think he owes...
Well, it's not like Christina popped in there and was like, oh yeah, this is exactly what happened, yada, 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 blah, 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 he cheated, I did this, No, she was just like, we are still friends, we're handling this amicably, don't jump on the hate train towards Tom, don't take sides, like, we are still, besties, for lack of a better term. She said some shit like that, but like, they're good. So it's not like she came in there clearing anything up or anything like that. She just told us to like not take sides and not spread hate or attack Tom. So like me as a fucking someone not involved in their life whatsoever, who am I to go against her wishes? So a normal, mentally stable person should just take her advice and, let it be and respect her wishes and not try to like jump on any fucking hate waves or anything like that. But of course, this is the internet, so we know that's not going to happen.
The general public anything, but he definitely owes the YMH audience something, and that's the part he doesn't seem to get.
So I'll just say that it's very hard, and I personally am not somebody who is the type of person that's like, let me be an open book about my private life. Some people are. I actually feel like you're more of that. Like you'll share things, and there's people that are like that's their skill set even that they open up about everything. I've never been that guy.
Trauma based. I knew you and Christina before you were Tom and Christina. We go way back, and it's difficult. It's difficult to sit here and see just what's happening to you guys publicly, privately, all of it. It sucks. But here's the other thing. Two things. If you have been a fan of this show and you've been listening to Christina P, you know damn well Tom Segura didn't make her do anything.
No, of course
not. Anything. Christina would be the first one to be like, fuck you, you're going to go first. Or we'll do this together. Or whatever it is.
No, without question.
She would have a say in that. The other thing is, I know 10% of the trolls are shit, but the rest of us are just, we're heartbroken that, you guys are sort of the North Star, especially in entertainment. And, it makes a lot of people feel a certain way, like, well, fuck, if they can't, can we? 20 years, 2 fucking decades is a long time. But the trolls are the trolls.
I understand. Look, I actually understand all of it. I understand the people that are like just heartbroken, and I understand the trolls and people. It's not something I can't wrap my head around. It's part of how it goes. Like,
as much as it would be nice to get a clear-cut answer, oh yeah, Tom cheated, or Tom just wants to go smash a bunch of 25-year-olds, or Christina got addicted to Narcan. But isn't Narcan like the thing that like saves you from overdosing? Yeah, she got addicted to that. Obviously, I can't agree with you that they owe us that, Mr. Cringe, P Cringe, we call him in the industry, because as it goes, YouTube is a website where you can choose to follow people's lives and people's interests, and they can choose to share anything they want. And there's no currency paid back and forth unless you agree upon something outside of the platform. So yeah, unfortunately, they really don't owe us jack shit.
Trolls and people, it's not something I can't wrap my head around. It's part of how it goes. I totally get it. We're not combative. Like, we talk every day. Just so people know that, like, this is like, I support Christina in everything she does. She supports me, and our focus, as you would imagine, is just on our children. You're not going to see me doing interviews or podcasts or press about this. This for me is like, again, this is me addressing what it is and how it's been, and it's been terrible. And I don't feel like I need to keep talking about this. This is it for me. I'm not going to talk about this. Whether some people are okay with, some are not. It is what it is.
So I've seen a lot of people saying stuff like, oh, our grandparents would stay together forever and people didn't get divorced so flippantly beforehand. Did you know that no-fault divorce only became a legal thing in 1970? And when it became a thing, so people could legally get divorced for, no one being at fault, so no one cheated or was abusive or anything like that, female suicide went down like 20%. So I say that to say, like, sometimes people genuinely do just drift apart, or they change and they become a little bit different to the point where they're fighting every single time they're in the same room together. And is that good for the kids? Is that good for them? Is that good for anybody? Would you rather have two parents that are separated and happy, and you get the happy best versions of your parents at different times, rather than the worst version of your parents together? So it's just one of those things. It's not perfect. Marriage isn't perfect. It's sloppy. And there is no other business or industry where if things aren't working out, they don't make changes. You know, the NBA, the chemistry's not working out, they make trades. They cut people, right? They change things as needed because they're trying to create the best culture, the best atmosphere for the best results. Why people expect people to live out a miserable existence in a toxic culture just indefinitely is beyond me, and it shouldn't be expected.
Like I keep saying, I completely understand where he's coming from, but there are a couple of things in there that I found really interesting. Tom spends most of his time addressing the criticisms against him personally, hitting back at the critics and the trolls. He doesn't spend much time reflecting the way Christina did, and I appreciate that I'm kind of speaking out of both sides of my mouth here. I do agree that Tom doesn't have to share his feelings or go into all the details, but I still think it was shitty of him to come out and only address the personal attacks against him rather than the actual situation.
Am I tripping, or he wasn't really like, he just said it was horrible? I'm sure he's talking as a blanket statement for him and his family in general, for everybody. I didn't see him like talk about anybody personally.
I hope that makes sense. The other thing is, both of them have emphasized that this is amicable. They speak every day. They've got a decent working relationship. They have a business together. They've got kids, which is obviously the most important thing and their priority right now. But if things are so amicable, why are they recording separately? If they were going to do anything together through all of this, it should be this podcast.
Because they don't like each other. They don't enjoy being around each other. They probably feel stress and anxiety. So that's why they don't film together. That's why they're getting a divorce.
Given everything we just talked about, how they founded the entire network off the back of this husband and wife show, sure, maybe they didn't want to sit across from each other every single week putting the show together, but this is the most important thing they do together outside of their family. They could have at least done the one episode last week together. It sounds like they're saying one thing to their fans, but behind closed doors...
That's like, I get what you're saying. That's a decent point. It would have been nice to see them together, you know, coming together, like leaving on a positive note, like clearing things up perhaps, but we know that probably would have just been a shit show. We'd get the waterworks from Christina. Tom would be, you know, sitting there awkwardly trying not to look like an asshole because she's crying and he's not, and try to, you know, do the fake console thing that we all have to do sometimes.
Clearly don't want to be in the same room as each other. So which one is it? Christina even said in her episode that they went to Europe together, they were in London together, and she looked across at him and thought, wow, it's hard to comprehend that he's no longer my husband. So they can go on an overseas trip together, but they can't sit down and do one podcast together? Yeah, I'm not buying that.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, probably just like a scheduling conflict, man. Isn't he like on tour and like filming movies and shit like that? I don't know.
But it's not just us that have questions. It's also some of their closest friends.
And so I asked Tom, I said, you know, dude, Stavros, you know, I know he's home now, he's been in the movies, but so I said, we can kind of, if you want to, Summer Bears if you need, and Tom's response was not happening this summer. So it's just one of those things where I think Tom is...
Well, yeah, it's white boy summer. He's got cheeks
saying, you know what? I make a clip in the divorce.
I think let them finish all their legal proceedings before they put they learn their lesson.
Right. Yeah.
Trusting two fucking idiots like us.
I know. Well, it was one of those things.
$1 million property.
Where I know I asked Tom once. Tom was like, I was like, how you liking Summer Bears or Winter Bears? He's like, dude, I love it. He was like, and I love it because the first 30 minutes of seemingly every episode is just you two shitting on Bert. So he was like, Bert kind of just, he was like, I watch Bert just kind of taking all this in about how the comedy scene really feels about him. And then he said, it's fun for me to watch Bert.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, smart for Tom, because this would have been his summer.
Oh,
this would have been the summer that Tom's in the crosshairs. That's why he's the shrewdest between the two of them.
How much better would it have been if they had Chrissy
I don't even get like why any of that shit was relevant at all. Why do we just listen to that shit?
and Stavy on to do Summer Bears again this year while all of this was breaking? Can you imagine every single week those two addressing all the latest gossip and trolling and adding fuel to the fire the same way they did with Bert last year? It would have been so fucking funny. But even just on this episode of Stavy's World from this week, it's crazy how precise and accurate they are when it comes to reading Tom and the entire divorce situation. Even Tom and Christina's closest friends are siding with Christina and shitting on Tom over this. It's just so easy to see this for what it is.
I'll tell you something right now. Out of all the people we know a lot of people who are making real money, and we're at the point now, we've been doing this so long, where it's like we've watched our peers become moguls. Some of them become moguls, and it's just one of those things where, but Tom, out of all of them, is the shrewdest. Like, Tom is one of those guys, when I was talking to Tom once, I did a show with him, I opened up for him at the freaking United Center, right? He killed whatever, and then immediately after, I was like, how'd you like the show? Tom was like, oh, it was great. Within 5 seconds, somebody came up to him with a clipboard and was going over the F&B, the merchandise, food and beverage, the merchandise, and basically the profit in, the numbers in, numbers out.
See, respect.
Well, yeah, my man's a dog. He's out here winning, all right? And you're sitting there, bitch.
I didn't do comedy, do gay shit like that. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
I think the business, the like comedians becoming businesmen sucks.
Yeah.
That's not who the fuck we are. We're not smart and we're not business guys.
That's why Christina wanted the divorce.
Why can't we just be fun? Yeah. Look, I don't want to. I will not get no conjecture here. Those are actual friends of ours going through a public divorce. I do not envy them.
Yeah.
But look, I will say everyone's looking at it from the guy gets fat
Rich
guy
and
loses
hot.
weight.
Yeah.
He divorced. Do you think it's fun? Who do you think it's more fun to be married to?
Yeah.
A fun fat guy or a guy on peptides?
It's probably more fun to be married to a fit multimillionaire than a guy with 40% body fat, a shitty mustache, and Dahmer glasses.
Right.
Like, if you had to pick in your old age, like that's what I'm banking on.
Chrissy D and
I know
Stubby
you
hit
are.
the nail on the head, and I think we just coined a new phrase.
Yeah, so maybe she left him. Maybe she left him.
Clipboard.
Maybe she's like, he's just too ambitious. He's too locked into his fitness. He's too serious about his business and money and building a empire. And I just like my comfortable life here. And he's outgrown me. And so I'm not comfortable with that. And I want things to end. How about that? There's my conjecture. Because that's all this shit is. That's all we have is conjecture. Just putting together random fucking hypotheses and then puking that shit up on the internet.
Comedian. How perfect is that? Tom Segura is a clipboard comedian. You can throw Kevin Hart in there too while you're at it. I always think about when I used to see Tom live years ago when he'd come through on tour, or even just from clips where he was fat and funny, how different he is now. He used to be so much more chill on stage, just a regular dude who happened to be fucking hilarious. Now he's a full-blown douchebag. And I've said this before ages ago, but I always come back to that bit Tom used to do about being at home late at night on his laptop, bookmarking expensive yachts and private jets when he was broke, saving them for later just in case, you know. The punchline was that he was obviously delusional.
I do that
The problem is he actually became that guy. The bit stopped being a bit. And they're kind of right about the business thing too.
Well, that's the dream. That's life, man. That's like the actualization of your dreams, bro. And you're shitting on him for that. That's fucked up.
If most of the conversations they have, the business thing too, running an entire network that they both co-own and co-run together, that's got to take its toll on a marriage and on your comedy careers as well. If most of the conversations they have were about their kids or work, it doesn't really leave much time to just be a married couple and enjoy each other. I don't want to speculate too much about this, but we all saw it coming years ago, and now that it's out that this has been going on for years, absolutely nobody is surprised. Tom Segura is coming out of this as the villain, and he hasn't even said that much. It's more what he hasn't said. That's the problem for most of us. Anyway, make sure you check out the link in the description to my Patreon so you don't miss out on all of the latest.
So what I get from that is when you don't get the answers that you want, you just make them up on your own, which would literally make you the worst investigator, the worst scientist, the worst anybody who their job is to find answers. And I'm aware that my take, the more pragmatic, like, who the fuck knows, we don't know type of opinion is not the most popular because it's not like viral worthy or click worthy. It's not like fire and chaos because that's how the internet works. Like, it's all fucking artificial outrage, right? And people flock to that. It's like if I came on here just shitting and dunking on Tom right now, like, people would love it, but I'm not gonna like forfeit my authenticity and my true thoughts and feelings for the sake of like garnering clips and views like so many other YouTubers and whatnot do. Like, think of all the other biggest creators like in this kind of realm, Fresh and Fit. It's all like gung-ho on one topic, one idea, like fuck women, anti-feminism, all this shit. And all the other ones too, they're all like totally Republican or totally Democrat because they know that that's the best way to, like, they can't like waver with their opinions at all. Like, oh my god, I could talk about this shit forever, but I'm not gonna abandon who I am and what I think for the sake of like getting clicks and virality. So it is what it is, man. Like, who the fuck knows? We don't know shit, and that's what it is. It is what it is. It sucks. It's not satisfying. We can't like feel that satiation in our bellies, but that's life, man. Sometimes you don't get what you want. And yeah, see you guys hope you guys enjoy.